Denzel is. We had a week's rehearsal, a week's talk, really, and you get to know each other, and so he's a big personality, and he's very committed to what he does. He's very prepared, and also we're playing adversaries. We have inherently we're going to have different opinions with the characters, so. Once we familiarized ourselves with just the kind of vibe, with the personality thing, away we went, and he brought a very studied, precise way of working to the set. He lifted, I thought, the level of professionalism right across the board. There was a great deal of respect, and he didn't mess with it. He didn't abuse it, as is sometimes the case. And working opposite him was, it was easy because, I mean, easier than it might have been, because you go, I do my thing, he does his, and you're dancing, you're fighting, you're into the psychological world, and you exchange, as we're looking at one another now, you exchange it. And although we're in the story, we're going to kill each other or whatever, there's somewhere in there, there's this empathy that we're two actors, but it's way back there in the distance, and we still come up with all this other stuff. And that's when you know, I mean, at least that's when it's pleasurable. And he's very professional, and he knows his stuff, so it was a great honor. He's obviously a very fine actor. I was having fun. He just kind of swans up to the apartment, and he's not going to be Teri. And again, as a sociopath, he has the ability to mirror everything around him to serve his agenda. And basically, he came in as something of a Boston cop, or somebody in an officialdom, and I just had a little chat, and a little friendly, as if he was investigating a case and whatever he got to offer. All the while, kind of sorting out who he was, where he lived. Who is this man? And it was a little bit like throwing the cloak in front of the bull, having a bit of a play, and before the main event in the bull ring. I know the series from a long time ago, and what little I can remember of it, I enjoyed. It's a concept. It's a vigilante film. You don't need to have watched the series at all. I mean, Denzel takes it to another place. The script is completely different. Basically, somebody's seeking justice for the vulnerable and the innocent is about as much as you need to know. And other than that, you don't have to have seen any of the other stuff. In fact, yeah, they're quite different beasts, I think. He probably was brought up in an orphanage and kind of abused. He didn't have a lot of necessarily love and affection. He learned how to deal with situations in a rather primitive way. If feelings are not useful, guilt is not useful. You have to keep striving forward, and the world is not a nice place for him at all. So. Yeah, you sort of kill or be killed, really. But he's clever enough to know. I imagine he has a very high IQ. He's clever enough to know that you can't just go around killing people. You have to do it intelligently, and this is where the sociopath comes in, and nullifying any kind of remorse or guilt or conscience. And we imagined that he might have been in the military situation, and then in special forces, and then there was money to be made in kind of hired killings or sorting things out, which is where he and Pushkin come into the picture. And he's a perfect person to kind of swan in and be what he needs to be and sort it all out, and then go home again. Yeah, he's a typical sociopath in that way. There's not a lot of love, and he's at the center of his universe, and he believes what he's doing is good for everybody. Yeah, which just sets him loud, proud, and in charge, but in the most sophisticated, elegant, lovely way. Be a nice person to talk to. If he didn't have anything in for you, I mean, you'd probably have a nice meal with him and go home thinking, there's a charming young man.